You have just tapped into the Christian Life Coach Collective, and I'm your host, Laura Malone. I'm here to equip and encourage coaches in skills, business, personal life, and faith. I believe you're already 100% worthy and capable, and you're called for such a time as this. So let's get you walking it out with courage and confidence so you can be an amazing coach who sees transformation and great results in both your life and the lives around you. Let's get started. Okay, so as I promised in the last episode, we're going to talk about ideal client and the myth that anybody can be your ideal client. I think anybody could be your client, but I don't believe anyone can be your ideal client. So, one of the biggest mistakes new coaches make is believing everybody is somebody they can call like the best ideal client for them. And I get it because when you're passionate about coaching, you see how coaching can help almost everybody, if not everybody. But the problem is that when you try to appeal to everyone, you end up attracting no one. And your message is vague, your marketing is generic, and the right people who actually need your help are not going to really connect with you. So, choosing an ideal client basically just means define the person you work with. It's a more detailed persona within your niche, right? Remember the last episode, we talked about that niche and how it's just defining the kind of results that you want to help somebody get. Well, your ideal client is the person who has the problem your coaching niche helps to solve. It's a specific type of person you most want to serve based on demographics, psychographics, struggles, and goals. While a niche is more of a broad category, but still a category that has a focus, your ideal client is a well defined individual with a more specific set of needs and pain points and aspirations. Like the results they want are specific to them. So, some examples, like we talked about in the niche, um, career coaching. We talked about that in the last episode, how that could be a niche, but an ideal client inside that niche is saying, I help women in midlife pivot into meaningful work after being burnt out. In the leadership coaching niche, you could say, I coach first time female executives who want to lead with confidence and clarity. Health and wellness coaching, I support busy dads in creating sustainable self care habits. Relationship coaching, we talked about that niche, like it can be anywhere across the board, like marriage, relationship, dating, parental, whatever. An ideal client would be able to, you'd be able to say, like, I work with high achieving women who struggle with intimacy and connection in their relationships. Now, think about this. I'm not just saying women or men, it's women in midlife, first time female executives, busy dads, high achieving women, right? And that mindset coaching niche we talked about, you can say, I help faith based entrepreneurs overcome fear and imposter syndrome to step into their calling. So it's not even necessarily a gender based ideal client. It's who is this group of people? Faith based entrepreneurs. So your ideal client is somebody who inside of your target audience. And that knowing that target audience and your ideal client helps you focus your messaging, marketing, and coaching style towards the people who need you most. If you're working with executives, then you're going to need to be a bit more on the professional side of things. Working with stay at home moms, they want you to feel like you're a friend, that you connect and you understand, you have empathy for what their life looks like right now, right? An entrepreneur is going to want you to be open-minded and creative. Like they want you to connect and understand who they are so they feel seen and they believe you could actually help them. And instead of thinking I could coach anyone, really need to ask, who am I best equipped to serve? Not everybody is a fit for your style, your expertise, your passions, your approach, and that is really a good thing. There's other people out there for those people, and don't get in the mindset that you're excluding people. And if you can't help them, nobody can help them. If they don't find you, like it's fatal for them. It's not true. There's a lot of people out there that can help them. They'll go find somebody else. God will lead them where they need to go. You are not anybody's all in all, neither am I. And we don't have to wear that pressure, that those weights don't need to be sit on your shoulder, that if you're not available, then people will lack because God is in control and you and I aren't. So I think that this myth that anybody can be my ideal client exists because um, coaches resist getting specific for one of these. I probably more than these, but I think these are the four main reasons. First of all, like there's FOMO, just like a fear of missing out. Like if I choose a niche, if I create an ideal client, I'm going to lose the potential clients out there. There's also, especially as a believer, like I have a heart to help anybody and everybody. So there's that deep desire to serve. And sometimes we interpret that in a way that makes it feel wrong to exclude people. And I want you to not think of a niche and an ideal client as a place that you're excluding people. I want you to think of it as a place where you include the right people. Like just reframe your mindset around that. Like, think of some place that you go that is specific to you. Like, let's just say it's a women's workout program. Well, you like to go there because it's specifically set up for fitness and health and well-being of women in an atmosphere where there's no men, no women don't feel like there's googly eyes going on. They're not thinking about the the guy who's dropping the big weights on the ground, listening to heavy metal in his AirPods. It just there's like a reduction of all the things that that mom, that woman, that teenage girl doesn't want. Those things are not there. And the goal of that gym isn't to exclude the men. The goal is to focus in and provide an experience for the women who come to it and give them such a focused experience that it's perfect for them. So when you think about it, again, don't worry about excluding people, except that you do want to exclude the wrong people. You don't want to work with the people who are like, I'm actually not interested in growth. That's the wrong person. It's not a coachable person. So there's actually a bunch of people that you want to exclude and you don't want to work with and you need to say no to so that you can make the most out of your time, your energy, and get the best results. There's also a lack of clarity, and people just simply haven't taken time to think about they would actually work best with. Um, you just have to do the work of it. I think that lack of clarity definitely keeps people from dialing things in and getting specific. And also, just early on in business, there's a lot of scarcity because if you're just starting out, just getting any client feels like such a big win. So if you stay there, you avoid narrowing down and also narrowing like kind of the options of who you work with because you think that scarcity mindset is normal, but it's not, and it's not going to stay that way. And again, start out and experiment, do general life coaching if you want to, but use that time to dial in and don't stick with the scarcity mindset that happens when you first start out and you don't know how to get clients and you don't know who to work with. That's the beginning, but that's not supposed to be the way the whole business is built. Here's what actually happens when you don't define your ideal client. You attract people who are not a good fit for you. And what happens then is that you don't get great results with them. So you don't get great testimonials that are the social proof, you know? You also struggle to explain what you do and who you help. So then when people say, like, what's a life coach do? Like, what is life coaching? You don't actually know because you're not clear on it yourself. Your marketing and your messaging, your landing page, your website, your content, your titles, like all of the things that you create, even on social media, it's scattered, it's inconsistent. It doesn't have a direct path or clarity. And also, you're competing with every other general life coach out there instead of positioning yourself as an expert with a specific focus. On the flip side, when you define your ideal client and a niche, everything actually gets easier because you know exactly who you're speaking to. Therefore, you can research and figure out what they need and what kind of language they use. Your messaging becomes clearer. Your content gets dialed in and becomes higher value to the right people. And those right people start actually hiring you because they really believe you're the perfect coach for them, not for everybody, but for them. So you have like the struggling coach versus the very clear, confident coach. And I think that is a big piece of being a coach with confidence comes from having this kind of clarity so that you can have a strategy and that leads you to feeling like you have hope. You're hopeful, you're powerful in this journey as an entrepreneur and a coach. So the generalist, the struggling coach is like the generalist. So who says, I help people grow. I help people with their mindset. I help people improve their lives. That's nice. People should do that. They should grow and change their minds and improve their lives, right? But if I hear that, you hear that, I don't know if that means does to improve my life in my relationship area, my career, my finance, my mindset, my fitness. Like, how do you help me improve my life? What area of my life overall? That is just too broad. It's too general. I don't know what you can help me do. You haven't actually told me. So I don't know if you work with executives or moms or young professionals or men in midlife. Like, I don't know. So I'm going to tune you out and I'm going to keep going. As opposed to the clear and confident coach, the specialist who says, I help ambitious women in corporate leadership step into their executive role with greater confidence and impact, right? So any women in leadership hear that and go, that is me, and I need that. I want to see how that coach can help me right now. So one coach is casting a really wide net, but really nobody is like being caught. And the other one is speaking directly to her people because she's looked out at the ocean and said, I want to cast this net right there. And I want that kind of fish for dinner, right? So if you're struggling to narrow your niche, a simple way to define your ideal client is like all of this work we talked about in the last episode too, is just think about like who do you love working with? Think about the past clients you've had that you loved. Working with the people you naturally connect with, the energy of those people. Is it men? Is it women? Is there an age group? Is there a specific interest that they have? What specific challenges do they face? Like, are they struggling with confidence or career transitions, work life balance, healthy lifestyle, belief in themselves? Like, what is that? And have you encountered and experienced any of these same challenges that you've overcome and worked yourself through, or even had a coach that helped you go through that you can address with them? Think about what is their goal and what kind of results they want to create, and what are they desperate for, and what are they inspired towards? And then what makes you uniquely equipped to help them? So think about your personal and professional experience that actually gives you credibility in this area. And do you have specific coaching skills or tools or methodology that would help them too? So if you realize you love working with Christian women who want to launch a business, or turn their hobby or their ministry into a business, then your niche might be that you help faith driven women confidently start and scale their first business with purpose and strategy so they feel fulfilled when they put their head on the pillow at the end of the day. That is so specific. So somebody in that exact situation is going to feel like you read her journal. You're talking directly to her. And then once you've identified that ideal client, everything you say should actually speak to her exact need or his exact needs. So use their language and talk about their struggles in the same words they would use. That's especially important between genders and generations. Share stories and examples that reflect their experiences. And I mean like real life experiences, not their made up experiences, or I'm just assuming you might deal with this, but do some research, ask some questions, and offer solutions that are really specific to them. So If your niche is helping mid-career professionals pivot and do something that they feel like they're more purpose driven about, like, let's say they became a doctor because their parents wanted them to, but they really wanted to be an artist, right? So your content is going to include language like, do you feel stuck in a job that you don't care about or you're not excited about? Here's how to make a career transition without fear. Or 5 signs it's time to leave your corporate job for something more meaningful that you care about and not your parents. How to know if coaching is the right next step for your pivot in life or your career pivot. And then think about like how each message speaks directly to the exact person you want to attract. That's how you position yourself as the go-to expert for your niche. So the definition of like the niche is, think of it like this, is a coaching focus or specialty, and it's like the specific field or problem you help with. But the ideal client is the detail or detailed persona, like that avatar of a person inside your target audience. So a niche is a category or focus in under that umbrella of life coaching. So career, mindset, health, relationships. It's a broader category, but then it gets dialed down even more as you talk about and think about the type of person specifically inside that niche that you think you're best equipped to help. The niche focus is what you do. The ideal client focus is who you help, what you do, and who you help. So I'm a leadership coach. That's what you do. That's your niche. Who you help is I help new female executives lead with confidence. It matters to have a niche because it positions you as an expert in a specific field or focus, the category of coaching. And it matters to have an ideal client to talk to because it helps you tailor your message, your marketing, and actually find the right clients. So define your niche and ask the question like, what transformation can I help people achieve? Like, I help people um, transition into leadership roles. I help moms balance work and life, busy work. I help, life balance. And then define your ideal client. Like, who do I specifically want to work with and what are their struggles and goals? So I coach ambitious women who just got promoted into leadership and need guidance on how to lead effectively in a male dominated male dominated workplace, right? Having a niche makes you stand out in a crowded coaching industry, and then having an ideal client makes your marketing clear and compelling. And then when you have both, you're going to attract the clients who really need what you have to offer that are willing to invest in coaching. So instead of saying, I'm a life coach for everyone, you can say things like, I help new female executives develop confidence, leadership skills, and work life balance as they step into these higher responsibility roles. That is specific, that is powerful, and it helps you build a thriving coaching business. So, my challenge to you today is to write a detailed description of your ideal client and think about who they are, their demographics and psychographics, like their age and background and life stage, all of those things. And then the psychographics are more like, why are they there? And what do they struggle with? What do they want most? What kind of results do they want to create in their life? What kind of change do they want to make? How you can help them. And then once you do it, take it a step further, write it into a single sentence that describes who you help and how so that you can actually begin communicating that at the very least to your mirror. So, and it just very simple. I'm a life coach. I help people. And you can say, I help this specific type of person achieve this specific goal by, and then you can maybe just a little blurb about your coaching method and then share it. Tell people about it. Shoot me a message. Um, the more clarity that you have and the more often you say it, the easier it's going to be to attract the right people and the ones who need what you offer most. So defining your ideal client isn't about excluding people, it's about making it easier for the right people to find you. And then when you stop trying to be everything to everyone and start speaking directly to the people you serve best, your business barely becomes more effective. Your clients get better results. You stand out as the expert you are, and you love coaching. You wake up and you're excited to show up. So if you need help defining your niche and your ideal client more clearly, we can refine it together. Go to sterlingandstonementoring.com, find out how we can work together, or check the show notes, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Thanks for listening. For more coaching resources and to learn how to work with me, head to sterlingandstonementoring.com or click the link in the show notes. Remember, walk boldly in your calling, and I'll talk to you next time.